Johnny Murr here, and welcome to a brand new review. Today, we're finally going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I'm just going to do a little forewarning right here, just so you all know this is going to be a review. And I have not finished the game. And part of the reason why is, and this is kind of going to go to a spoiler alert, I just personally did not like the game. I do not really like the game. There are a lot of things I do like about the game, but there's just it just never really clicked with me. It never really clicked with me, and it's just not a game that I've really vibed with. I just don't think it's for me, to be honest with you. But I am gonna do my review because I'm gonna do my due diligence and do it. But thank you also for tuning into the video. If you guys love video games, consider subscribing, share with your friends. Doesn't matter what you love: Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, third-party, PC, VR, indie, whatever it may be. We cover video games daily, and we love talking about them. So we're here, and let's get talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, my review. And look, I'm a massive Assassin's Creed fan. I mean, it's one of my favorite franchises to date. And there are so many games that I love with a passion. It's just there's just not a lot in this game specifically that I personally really love. So we're going to talk about the game, but we're going to do, of course, our formula that we go. We're going to start with the good. And off rip, the first thing I have to say is this game is beautiful. This game's visuals and the attention to detail is very, very good. I love just the Japan setting. I mean, of course, we knew the Japan setting was gonna cook, and it did. It looks so beautiful with the nature and with some of the landscapes and some of the views that you get. It really is a gorgeous game. I think a lot of the character designs and a lot of just the look of characters and things that you see around the world just are very pleasant to look at and are very, very cool. So definitely off rip, visually, this game is great. Second thing is, and this is my favorite part of the game right here, and that is Yasuke's story is incredible. Like, genuinely, they did such a great job with Yasuke. Now, for somebody, like I said, I haven't beaten the game. I haven't beaten the main story, and I probably never will. And so, but from where I'm at in the story, I'm like 22 hours in, right? So I'm pretty deep into it. So it's not like I've just tried it for 5 hours and decided what wasn't for me and I'm just now doing a review. No, I've played the game for about 22 hours. I've just decided I've played enough. So Yasuke's story, though, has been absolutely my favorite part of those 22 hours. And granted, there's not a lot of it. Which is really unfortunate, and that goes into one of my big critiques about the game. But every time Yasuke gets a cutscene or a Yasuke-specific quest, those are always the best ones. And it's because the story and the writing on him is just far superior than everything else, in my opinion. And look, also, warning, these reviews are always my opinion. They're just my experience. Everybody can feel completely different. And honestly, I'm really glad because this game, I'm definitely an outlier on this game. I'm 100% outlier. I have multiple friends who like the game, who love the game. And I just seen so many people on social media saying they love the game. The game is selling pretty well. The game was reviewed pretty well. So I'm really happy for the game. But I have to be honest, and I'm giving you my review from my experience playing the game. But yeah, Yasuke's story was phenomenal so far. And then the other good thing that I really, really like from this game, which is I think the other best part of the game, and that is its combat. The combat is very good. It's very fluent. There's a lot to do in terms of skill tree, progression. It's a lot of different systems that work really, really well with each other, with the parry, with the dodging, with your like tools that you get. And I think the difference between Naoe and Yasuke is felt. It's felt and it's there. It's very present. And I think that does a lot for the gameplay, especially for me, because I definitely like Yasuke more. But there are so many moments where I'm like, oh, I really have to use Naoe here. Wow, this makes my life so much easier being Naoe. And I think they did a really, really good job with that. I think also, combat aside, just the gameplay between the two characters, I think they did really, really well. I think they complement each other, and they complement the world design and the level design and the quest design. And I think it just adds a lot. I also think the whole premise of the story is neat with the whole dual protagonist. Unfortunately, I do feel like half of the dual protagonist fell flat, being Naoe. I was not really a fan of her story, but I do like the whole concept of the dual protagonists. And I think in terms of the chemistry and the way the game was kind of fundamentally built, being dual protagonists, I think works. I think being able to pick between different characters, depending on the quest or how you want to do it, or just switch at any time. You use Naoe to climb to the viewpoints. You can't do that with Yasuke. So I think they just did really, really well on that balance. And I think they give you really good choice and freedom for who you want to play as well. Even though I played Yasuke for far majority of my playthrough, there were times I wanted to use and had to use Naoe, and I think it really worked. I never felt forced. I never felt like I didn't really have a choice. So I really liked that. Another thing, the music, pretty solid. I wasn't blown away by the music, but there was a good chunk of that Assassin's Creed music, which you really love, but also just in terms of like fitting the mood, fitting the setting, I think the music was really, really good. Something else I think is pretty good for the most part is the customization in terms of like getting new weapons, getting new armor. I think there was a lot of that. It never really felt stale to me. But yeah, outside of that, that's kind of where my good ends. Something else really quick that I found really, really good about the game is its stealth. I think the whole stealth, like when you're using Naoe, doing those specific stealth moments, I think feels really good, and I think they executed on that really well. Being able to do so many different things, incorporating light, incorporating all your tools, incorporating her moveset. I think they just did a really, really good job at executing that, so I have to give them props there. And it really hurts me because those good things that I just talked about are really, really good. I mean, genuinely, Yasuke, off of everything I have felt through his story and what I've seen through his story and his moments, genuinely character of the year contender. Because I really was connecting with him, and I was really loving the story and the writing that they were doing. I just feel like the rest of the game didn't really do it any favors. And again, this is just my opinion and my review, but we're going to go on to the mixed category. Things that I was like, it's okay. It doesn't really drag the game down. Doesn't really make the game better either, So it's kind of just, I'm just kind of neutral on it, right? And the first one being the whole base building and the whole, like, going to that area to make your HQ. I don't think it made it worse, because I think that does like up like the game systems and the structure of the game in a neat way. I always felt like it was just kind of in the background, or it was kind of an afterthought for me at least. Especially because when you enter the area, the frame rate drops to like 10, and I hate that. So that was really annoying on my part, but I don't think it makes the game worse. It was just something I just didn't really care about in the game either. And then also, I think the main plot, I think the main plot is in the mixed category for me. And what I mean by the main plot is combining both of the dual protagonists and going after the combining both of the protagonists and going after the main antagonist. I thought all of that was super duper simple. Oh, they killed her family. Now we have to go kill all of them, and there's some sort of assassin connection in the background. And I just never really got super enthralled or like super invested into what kind of story they were saying. And yeah, it just didn't really make me want to keep seeing what comes next. The only time I was doing that is when I knew there was something Yasuke related, because I was like, oh, I want to see what happens next to his character. So that kind of goes in the mix. But at the same time, I think there are some good moments. There are some good characters that you meet. So I'm not going to put it in bad. I'm just going to put it in mixed. Yeah, and then also in mixed, I think, and this is overall, outside of Yasuke, I think the voice acting is just fine. I don't think anybody really does an amazing job. I don't think they do a bad job, but it just, the voice acting didn't really do much for me. Didn't move me. But now the last thing I'm going to say in the mixed category, and I put it in mixed because it's definitely a me problem, but at the same time, I really wish it wasn't there. And that is, that you will reach points in this game where there is a massive difficulty spike, like major difficulty spikes, and then you will like grind for so much to try and get to an even close level for those missions. And then the very next mission is again like another spike. Like, I don't really understand why there are so many difficulty spikes and why the game gets really hard in certain degrees. Which, granted, if I wanted to get good at the game, I absolutely could. If I wanted to grind for hours and hours, I could. Problem is, I don't want to. That's the problem. And so for me, I just didn't really like that. But I don't think it makes the game worse, because there are people who will enjoy that, and there are people who, you know, that's not really a problem for them. So that's why it is in the mixed category. And the other thing I'll say in the mixed category is, I think just the open world in general. And honestly, I feel like every Ubisoft game, the open world is going to go in the mixed category, just because we're talking about Ubisoft. There's not, in this game, there's actually not a lot of bloat. There's like, I don't feel there's enough actually in this open world, which is really unlike Ubisoft. But it just, I never really felt the need to explore. I never really felt the need to go to every single tower, go to all these things and figure it all out. It just never really interested me. So that's what I have to say about that. But let's move on to the bad. And unfortunately, this is really where the game falls apart for me. Number one is, I just did not really like or connect with Naoe. Her character and her arc, her writing never clicked with me. And I was waiting. I kept waiting, and I even did some of her specific quests to see, like, okay, when does the juice, when does the real spicy stuff start? And it just never reached it for me. It never got there. I just personally was really not a fan of Naoe. I really wish they honestly just went with Yasuke to a certain degree, because I loved his stuff way more. But something else I really did not like with the game, and this, I think, is the biggest thing for me. I think this is the biggest thing on why I do not like this game, and that is, I think this game is paced horribly. I think this game is paced really, really bad. You will get to a 20-minute, awesome mission where you're playing as Naoe and Yasuke. You're breaching through this castle. You're defeating this boss. I think it's awesome. And then you spend the next 45 minutes just going from point A to point B, riding on your horse for like 20 minutes. And then you'll reach this moment where then you just have to grind. And then you'll reach this Yasuke quest that only takes like 2 minutes. And then you'll reach a Naoe quest that takes only 2 minutes. And then you'll do something else for 5 minutes. And then you'll travel again from point A to point B for 40 more minutes. And then you'll finally, at the end of like 5 hours, have another awesome mission with both of them. And also, you spend the whole first like 8 hours of the game only as Naoe, and that's only if you straight shot too. And so I just don't like the pacing of this game whatsoever. I just kept on like, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Let me go to the next thing. Let me go to the next thing. Let me get to the fun, exciting stuff. And it just took way too long. And the things you were doing to get there, I just wasn't loving or didn't really enjoy all of that much. And part of it is that whole traveling. You know, the world is huge. The map is huge in this game. And there are moments where you have to travel thousands of kilometers away just to go talk to somebody, and then you have to come all the way back. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, why are you making me spend 40 minutes just going to talk to somebody, just having me go from point A to point B without any spice in between? It really just was not hidden for me, and it really made me want to stop playing. So much so to the point where me and my sister, who were playing the game at the time, we were like, let's go back. Honestly, can we go back and play Assassin's Creed Unity? And that's what we did. We went back and played Assassin's Creed Unity because we wanted to play a good Assassin's Creed game, and we just weren't getting it from Assassin's Creed Shadows. And it was just the fact I just found it really unengaging and really uninteresting. And the final thing I'm going to say in the bad category is definitely an interesting critique. And I will say, and I think some people will definitely argue against it. And honestly, I don't blame you guys. And I'm going to have to explain this a little bit. But for me, I feel like this game isn't what it's supposed to be. This is an Assassin's Creed game. Now I get it. I get it. Assassin's Creed has changed, has evolved from being those classic, AC2, 3, Brotherhood, Revelations, Unity. I get it. Assassin's Creed as a franchise has changed. I personally really liked Odyssey. I really liked Valhalla. Actually, I loved Odyssey, right? I personally feel like this game missed the mark when it comes to what makes this game an Assassin's Creed game. And I feel like it lost that because it tried doing so many other things, and in the end, it made it feel like this game doesn't know what it wants to be or what it's trying to be. That is another big issue I have with this game. I just never feel like this game is focused. I never feel like that this game is leading me in a direction of I know exactly what I'm playing. It just feels like it's trying to be an open world RPG while incorporating as many different things around it as humanly possible. Now, there are some people who love that, and I understand that. There are people who just want, like, I want as much content, as big of a map, as many things and gameplay systems to do, and I completely understand that. And this game is for you. But for me, I felt like the game was lost. I feel like the game tried to be Assassin's Creed, and then it just tried to be a historical fiction game, and then it tried to be an open world game, then it tried to be a linear game, then it tried to be a stealth game, then it tried to be an action game, then it tried to be a simulation, like, HQ building game, and then it tried to be like an exploration game, and then it tried to be a horse riding game, then it tried to be a walking simulator, and then it tried to be a running simulator, then it tried to do parkour, and then it tried to do this. It felt like it was trying to do so much all the time, shoving in all these different things and aspects and features and systems, and it just never worked for me. It just never worked for me, unfortunately, which is so sad because, like I said earlier, there are good parts of this game, and I think fundamentally there is a lot to like here, and I think with the score I'm going to give the game, those good things carry it a lot. Yasuke's story is phenomenal. The visuals are great in this game. The combat and gameplay is really fun. I really enjoy it. I just think the rest of the story, I think the way the game is paced, the way the game is built, the way the game is structured, and just some of the choices they made in the design aspect didn't really work for me. And so I am going to give this game a 6 out of 10. And I know that is kind of a low score for what you typically see me review. And let me just clarify. I do not think this is a bad game. 6 out of 10 is not a bad score. It's not good, obviously. It is on the weaker side of scores, but 6 out of 10 on our scale is okay. And I do think that, for me, that is what this game is. It's okay. I enjoy it. I understand why people love it, but for me, I just never really got too into it, and it never really clicked for me. And I think all the reasons I've explained here are why. So, and it really sucks because I was really looking forward to this game, and this was a dream game for me. Like, if you would ask me 5 years ago, a Japanese Assassin's Creed was the dream, and it just didn't live up to the hype for me. But I understand why everybody else is loving it, and I understand all the success for it, and I'm really glad for it. So let me know in the comments, what do y'all think? I love to have the nice, friendly discussions about it, but thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment section down below provided, and please subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.